What is up, everybody? What is up, Tony? Hello, Kayla.
Hi.
Welcome to the green room. More Grant Amato. People couldn't get enough of that shit. So we're doing some more.
May as well finish it. He's a terrible human being.
And here's the thing, when I was looking through, I'll get into this on the show proper too, though. And as I was looking through, I was just like picking up where we left off, sort of skimming through, and I was like, oh my God, I totally forgot to show you guys the part where the detective's like, get up and sit in this chair. I think you'll find him over here, some stupid shit. Like, oh my God, inept.
Music is gonna put Tony to sleep.
I know, just hold up with us for a little bit longer, Tony. We just got to make it out of the green room. It's always a very relaxing place here.
Yes.
Having some homemade cider.
Mm-hmm.
Friggin' Friday.
Yeah.
Rebecca Black up in this bitch. Fucking great references all night long.
All night long.
Fucking great. There goes Tony. Good night, Tony. Peace out. I want to, now this is obviously absurd, but I want to imagine Tony and like under the canopy of a 4-post bed, like on his stomach, hands, resting on his, or rather chin resting on his hands, watching this on like a big screen TV mounted above a fireplace. It's like a bearskin rug on the floor between the bed and the fireplace. Very classy. Not a lot of antlers, but a lot of hard wood. A very rich smell I'm getting. Plus the fire is also lovely. What a lovely house you have, Tony.
Yeah, I would 100% move into Tony's house.
I mean, with a
I've already
description
slept
like that.
there once.
Yeah, I mean, fireplaces in every room, even the bathroom.
Yeah.
Fucking luxury up in that shit.
Yeah. You fancy.
That's what I want.
There was a house up north that I had looked at to buy. 100% accurate. Don't forget
I'm good
about
at reading people. I can read people based on their cars or their houses or vice versa. I can read someone's house by spending some time with them. Smaller screen TV. Yeah, whatever happened. Like, we all just sort of decided that picture-in-picture was stupid, right?
Yeah, we used to use it all the time, or I used to use it all the time.
Really?
Well, a long time ago, if I was doing something or whatever.
You were watching 2 shows at once?
Mm-hmm.
That's insane. A picture-in-picture to me always just seemed like that was the stupidest invention ever. But
if it was a show that I didn't need to if I was watching
2 shows you didn't have to really check into?
No, it was one show that was like a show that I had to listen to, and the other one was like Wheel of Fortune, like something that I could just visually look at. And
but then there's the thing, like why bother with the, like, if you're going to be invested in one, why have the other one to be like, oh, that's some fun colors and shit? It's just weird. It's a strange.
Didn't last long.
Obviously, that's what I'm saying. Weirdos like you were in the minority, and thank Christ for it. Don't need your weird asses running around getting screens all over the place. It's a fucking close cousin to the person who runs around in public with their music on their phone full blast while they're having a conversation on speakerphone.
I don't understand people that do that. Ellie and I went to Target.
I understand it completely.
And this girl was literally talking about nothing on her phone on speaker.
Yeah, but that's the easiest thing to get. Like, that's just straight up
disrespectful.
Yeah, like, it's just bad manners. Like, everybody wants to be technical and label everything as an itis or something in the DSM-5 or whatever, like personality disorder, this, that, and the other. But some people, they just wash out to just being rude. Like, back in the old days, you just say that's a rude person. You wouldn't be like, well, I wonder what they're suffering from. It's us who suffer, bitch. Like, if you're an asshole, we're the sufferers. I suffer from plenty of things that I don't have. Just the people around me have them and I suffer from them. Yeah, that's life. Don't worry about it. Try not to suffer too much. You gotta suffer fools gladly. There's an old saying, but then it's like, if you're suffering, I'm not into it. Not into it. God damn it!
It's so long.
It's an invitation to join the conversation. You know, every time you do that, you get all pissy. Like, hey, what are you doing talking to me about whatever? You know, that's the thing. Phones have really, because, you know, here's the thing. Culture is shaped so slowly because technology moves so slowly. Now that phones, happened, all the, etiquette around them is still somewhat murky. From the old saw of, movie theaters to, texting etiquette. They've radically changed the way we interact with each other. And it still feels so rude to me most of the time. But, you have to sort of just get over the fact that conversations just die, or, people will get back to you 3 days later or not answer a question at all. It's where we are.
Work-wise, 4 months, they'll get back to you.
Who cares about work? I'm working for the weekend on being fun. Anyway, why don't we go ahead and get the show started? Oh, wait, no. Let's listen a little longer because I still want people to look at this thing that I worked on, this title screen. It blinks and stuff, and I want people to see it. God damn it! God damn it! How's that sound, everybody? Great. Anyway, here we go. Oop.
You're listening to FFOP Radio.
Reach the
Hey everybody, and welcome to the show. I apologize if the intro and all this stuff has been blowing your ears out. It looks like everything is really hot tonight, and I apologize. Oh my god. But
Spicy.
hold on, now I want to check and see that everything's working okay. That looks okay. It's just a little loud. Sorry about that, everybody. What's up? It's Friday. It's a live show. As mentioned in the green room, we're going to be going over some more Grand Amato footage. The part where they make him play musical chairs, which I think is absolutely absurd and you have to see. And then we'll cut to shortly after they've stripped him of all of his clothes, put him into this Goodwill
He's naked.
get up. They're like, oh, we got to take your clothes because evidence or whatever. And obviously it will give you something that, we bought by the pound at a Goodwill.
No, because this
warehouse.
was the same day, right? Was this the same day? No, they had to look for him for 24 hours or something.
Yeah, he spent the night in a hotel. They picked him up in the hotel.
Right.
So, oh God. Now, just, to refresh everybody, whatever, killed his parents and his brother who were bankrolling his entire life, plus his addiction to the cam model Sylvie. She has not come up hardly at all during this interrogation. But holy crap, what an angle that goes completely undiagnosed by this numbnuts detective here, who's like, find Jesus, Grant. Come over and shake the honesty hand through the honesty door. It fucking incompetent.
Well, yeah, because the whole reason he killed them is because they were kicking, or the dad was kicking him out of the house, and they wouldn't give him any more money.
And the thing is, if you're going to appeal to his emotions, appeal to the ones he has, if they do exist. Because he said earlier on in the interrogation, he's like, it's a little embarrassing, but she's a cam model. So I would have been like, okay, let's really dive into that, because Jesus Christ, why not? Instead of just saying hey, you're 40% there, you're 85% there. Here are the pictures. You can see them here. Let me make it a little bit bigger for you guys. But you can see here, the pictures of his dead family have not left the table since they got there. And he's just been staring at it and whatever. So, where we're picking off here is Grant is going to be basically explaining why he doesn't show emotion, and our inept detective is going to try again the same stupid shit, but with a fun twist, because you see this chair right here, it's about to come into play in a big way. So let's
shit.
buckle up, get yourself your drinks and your popcorns and everything. Grant Amato, then Jason Amato coming up next. If we were playing
Brother
bingo,
even
this would be
said
a
the
long
same
one.
thing of like when all this financial stuff was happening, like why I couldn't show like sadness towards it.
No, what a wonderful way to minimize you ruining your entire life, right? Burn through all of his parents' money, and he's like, yeah, with that whole financial situation, not the fact that I crippled them financially forever and ever,
Took their retirement money.
and then murdered them. I couldn't show emotion, even though I destroyed the family, detective. I was just like, meh. Too busy burning one down to Sylvie.
I just don't know.
And what is she doing? Dear God. Probably the same thing she always does.
I just don't know what else to say.
Do you think he would have killed his younger brother too if he was around?
Jason?
Yeah.
Jason's the older one. He's the baby.
Oh, sorry. Do you think they would have killed the older brother if he was around too? Like if he just happened to be around
No,
for...
I don't think so. Like maybe if he were collateral damage, but he was married,
He had kids. and stuff,
married,
right?
kids, out on his own, was checked out of that situation. Yeah, he probably would have been collateral damage, other than the fact that who cares? Because again, what was the motivation to begin with? Like, who knows? Like, you've already destroyed everything, right? Like, after all of that, like the Sylvie thing, the $260,000 up in smoke, like his whole stealing medication thing, like he was at rock bottom. And the thing that made him snap was his dad was like, now you've got to get your own apartment. And that's when he decided to end his entire lineage.
Yeah.
It's just, it's such a wild, because the breaking point is innocuous, right? Because the pressure from other things is building up. It's just bizarre that you can look at the thing that broke the straw that broke the camel's back. And it's so unremarkable. It's just yeah, well, now you're 29 and you need your own apartment. And he's like, I don't think so, family.
Well, and he's a fucking nurse.
Yeah, all he would have to do is just go to work and he would be in the money. Like his brother was bankrolling his and his brother's life.
Well, yeah, he was an anesthesiologist, right?
Yeah. And if he hadn't fucked up repeatedly, he could have been rolling in the dough. But no, he wanted
could have paid Sylvie himself.
Yeah. His hand was welded around his Johnson for 6 hours a night. And that's where his life and family went.
Doing this to your family?
Look at that. He's finally getting pissed off.
Yeah.
And why not?
I don't know.
You don't know what? You don't know if you feel bad for doing this to your family?
I don't know.
I've been getting blamed for the last half a year for everything, and I've been trying to move forward into a positive direction.
But
and then every day I'm reminded of all the trouble that I had caused.
He's saying this directly above the photos of the family he just murdered.
Mm-hmm.
This is just a court-ordered therapy session, whereas he got caught TPing something and they're like, oh, you're an angry kid, go see a therapist. This is the kind of shit you should be hearing out of that. But Grant here is so again, you're going to notice that he's going to be Stephen McDanielsing, because this posture will not change. He'll get a little more animated when his brother comes in because they interact a bit, but let's keep it up.
I feel like this male detective wants to pull an Elliot Stabler and just beat the shit out of him.
He's
Being told
so
the same
lame.
thing over and over again, but there's nothing that I can do to change it.
Do you regret doing this to each one of your family members?
I didn't do that to each one of them.
Bullshit. Bull ass shit, Grant.
Who did?
I
Who
don't
has such an axe to grind?
Oh,
with
here
your
we go.
family? That they shot him twice in the head, him in the head, and her. Who has it? Here, you sit in my seat for a minute. Sit in my seat. Get out of it. Here. Sit right here. Come here. Sit right here.
Embarrassing. Embarrassing. Don't do this.
Look at it from our side. Look at it from our side.
Like, why? Let me check my phone.
Think of it from what?
Look at that. Like,
Move 2 feet and see if it changes your perspective.
this is the type of bullshit that an inexperienced parent would pull on a teenager or something, right?
Yes.
Like, you have no idea what to do, so you're just, chair. We're there. You're grasping at straws. You tried the Jesus angle. You tried the emotional angle. Every time the female detectives tried to jump in with something useful, you shut her ass down. And now here we are. We've played musical chairs. So the most movement, like in any direction that you can say came from this interview was like 3 feet to the left.
The way we look at it. Independent. What are we here for? One thing.
Now, you can obviously look at this objectively, right, Grant?
Justice is all we're here for. Justice. Look at it. Who has a motive?
Look at it.
Female
the motive
detective
to
has
hurt
to
your
check
family?
her Twitter.
And like put it, so yeah, that's another thing. Like this annoying detective will like, I don't know if you saw it or I wasn't paying attention, but he gets a text and he goes, and then he like shows it to her and makes a big scene of it. And I'm like, again, it just feels unprofessional. Like this guy is obviously not have a lot of experience with
Or
this.
he just doesn't care because he knows he's fucked anyway. That Grant is like,
I don't
matter.
think so. Like, if you do not give a fuck, you do not spend 4 hours.
right, that's true.
If you have enough to just blow them out of the water, max hour and a half. All the best ones I've seen where they have enough to hang them before they even set foot in the interrogation room don't eclipse an hour and a half, basically, unless they're pulling juicy details out of them.
Oh, yeah.
It's basically moot. If they'll spend a little time like the Federico Gondola, or there's a bunch of them out there, 90 minutes. They'll give these people a feature film length of time before they're like, all right, fuck it. Smell you later.
Yeah. Enjoy prison.
It's just the way it is.
You could say Jason, but we already know where Jason was. I can account for every bit of
Yeah, you can throw
Jason.
your last living family member out of the bus, you
Yeah.
piece
Every
of
bit of it. Jason gave a statement. What's the first thing we looked at? Is Jason telling the truth? Can we verify what he told us? And in quick succession, we did. He said I was XXXXS. And yep, he sure was.
Home with my loving family.
Doesn't like as you look at him, doesn't he look like a Spirit Halloween store skeleton that somebody dressed up in scrubs?
Yes.
And we know exactly when Cody left work.
And know when Cody got home. And know when Cody stopped answering his phone.
Like the phones, man. Phones are the like
And know when bills were paid.
I never thought, like, coming up interested in true crime, I never thought DNA would be eclipsed by literally anything. But, like, now, you know, it's Orwellian and everybody wants to go like, they're tracking us all the time. But we're doing it to ourselves. Your cell phone will track you all the fucking time. And since they're innocuous and they're an everyday item that you just touch all the time, you don't remember that intellectually, that you're being pinged every 5 to 30 seconds. And so, like, now it just feels like DNA is gray. Oh, woohoo, that's just like the icing on the cake. But if they can be like, hey, T-Mobile, show us where Grant was for this 24 hours, and it's exactly where the murders were, and then he hung around and he searched murder stuff on his phone. It's like a murder mystery that writes itself and then delivers it to the police.
Yeah, basically.
And even when you, like, because there'll be instances where people will recognize this fact and turn off their phone. But when you look back at the record, their phone for the last 3 years has been turned off exactly once for 6 hours, and it happened to be when their parents were murdered or something like that.
Something quite obvious. Like they didn't start, you know,
Yeah,
they
it's
didn't
so
plan
wild.
anything.
Like now, and that's the thing. Like you can't explain that away. So Grant's just sitting here going, "No, I have nothing more to tell you," because how could you?
Yeah.
Like there's a Naomi, I think her name was Naomi Jones. Her killer was not only caught on video, DNA, yada, 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 but his phone tracked him like from the murder site to the body dump site back around. And it was just like, who gives a fuck about DNA at that point? The thing you had in your pocket, that because they always in the interrogation they'll say, "You ever let anybody borrow X car, phone, blah blah blah?" And they go, "No, hell no, it's mine, biatch," because that's how everybody gets upset about their personal property. And they go, "Well, then how did it make itself, to the murder scene?" And they go, "I don't know. I just don't know." Well, the proof is in the pudding, moron.
Kind of. Dressed up in scrubs. Now I
know
want him to
when
hop up
Eagles
and
left.
shout, "Eagle!"
I know when phones tagged hotspots. Know it all. Know every bit of it. Now it's time for you to admit to what you know. Because you're saying, I didn't do something, I don't know something. It's an easy thing to say to yourself, but you can't say it to us.
Look at it. It just looks like a paper crane that was made 1,000 years ago, and if you look at it the wrong way, it'll turn into dust.
Everything I can do.
Like, Grant is something that was pulled out of an old Chinese tomb and placed in this room to be interrogated.
We're not getting there. But I promise you, down at some point, the facts will get there.
The
And
facts.
then you're going to ask, hey, can I talk to you and tell you what happened?
Every interrogator does this shit too. If they're dumb enough to sit in the interrogation room for hour after hour, but don't want to give up the juicy shit, like 9 times out of 10, the detective will be like, "Hey, guess what? This will be your last chance. Let's say you're rotting back there next to your steel toilet, and the dude, your cellmate, wants to, have a nice romantic evening, and you decide you want to call out my name in the middle of the night to tell me something you forgot. You can't. It's over, bitch." But the other 10% is them being the nice detective, being like, "Hey, guess what? Here's my card. Anytime you think of anything and you want to just get out of that cell and have a chit chat, you hit me up." It's one or the other, but it's by and large like, "This is it, bitch. Like, you tell your story now, or I'm gonna go right to the prosecutor's office and the judge and the judge's mom, who's baking a pie right now."
The answer is no.
And be like, "Grant did this."
Walk out of the room, like I said, it's done. There is not a second chance.
P.S. It doesn't work. He's a fucking idiot. We're cutting ahead to 3 hours and 24 minutes. So they're going to take Grant away. There's going to be a quick cut here. It'll be fun.
Woo!
Here he is. Dumb old Grant.
To get some up, we got some for
They're
you,
gonna take
shorts and t-shirts.
He's going to take his clothes.
And then as soon as that's done, we'll get Jason here to talk to you.
Here we go.
All right, bud.
Here comes
So
Jason.
good. Anything else?
No.
All right. Well, we'll go here. This room is recorded. The next room we're going is
We don't want the camera to see your balls, Grant. Gross.
Lonely bottle of water.
You guys have a seat on the other side for me?
My little granola bar I had. Bing! There he is. Ah.
Looking great. Look at those
Look at they
shorts.
gave him like a fucking like the worst color shirt. Like, here's the thing. There
Go play
are
basketball in the dark.
some law enforcement officials out there that do moves like Joe Arpaio did. Dude's a fucking monster. But since he gave the inmates of Tent City like pink underwear and made them wear like the classic jail black and white striped jumpsuit, everybody was like, "Oh my God, amazing." Because he was like taking the piss out of the prisoners, which is like what people want. They want, by and large, even like the most pious of us wants a little something to make them realize where they are. And like the pink underwear and the thing, like that's what I'm getting at. So like, I think, because they always have to take clothes after one of these interrogations. I've seen so many of these where like they are stripped down to their skivvies, or sometimes they're not wearing those, and they're thrown in one of those Tyvek CSI suits, or, like a burlap sack, or like what Grant's wearing here. And that's what I'm getting at. I think they should do nothing but get like they're obviously going to have to start handing these out to people and getting them back. So like, let's say 3XL bright green, like lime green t-shirts, and like a bunch of like these blue board shorts.
Yeah.
And so when they're taken to prison, they come back, but everybody gets the same size everything. It's just one size fits all. Like the board shorts have a big piece of rope for the skinny dudes like Grant. But everybody who comes through comes like they leave dressed as a 12-year-old in Santa Monica. Oh my God. And poor Jason. Jesus Christ.
Well, yeah. Like, that. He doesn't have anybody. Well, I mean, he's got his own family, but like.
When he comes in, he comes across as so, like, face blisteringly human after watching. Because, like, if you do like I do and watch this full stop from start to finish a couple of times, you spend so much time with Grant and these two idiot detectives not acting like humans that when Jason comes into the room and acts with emotion and appeals to logic, it's just like this amazing. It feels like you're actually watching something that could work instead of someone trying to shake an honesty hand across an honesty bridge.
Pull that honesty rope, Grant.
Yeah, ring the honesty bell and collect your honesty prize, man. Just tell us why you killed your parents. And why?
But we already know
Seriously,
why.
I still no, we don't. Why did he do it? He already ruined them. Everything was fucked. All he would have had to have done was move out. Cody still would have footed the fucking bill.
Yeah,
his mom still would have fucking passed
It's not
the
like
money.
it hadn't happened before, you know?
Yeah.
Like,
So,
you're
like,
right.
what the fuck? Because he can't get that Stouffer's lasagna every once in a while from his mom? Like, Grant, you stupid piece of shit. His mom would have let him milk her for the rest of her natural life. Same with Cody. Mm-hmm. And he's like, you know what? I don't want to get in a studio apartment in fucking Florida. I forget where we are. Probably Florida.
I believe we determined last time I looked it up. I think it was Florida.
God damn.
I feel like the neon green and his pants match. I feel like there's green striping on his pants.
It's like a gray. From here, it looks like a blue and a gray.
Oh, okay.
I think his legs are just coming off as green because he's so sickly and corpse-like. Oh, look at him. Oh, God.
Why hug him? I would like run in
Because
there
the
and
rest of his
punch him.
family is dead.
But he's gonna
Like-
essentially be dead too in jail.
But just take in this moment for a second. Like, imagine being in Grant's situation, innocent, guilty, or whatever, and like your last surviving family member comes in, and you just sit there like a fucking genital wart until he comes in. He's like, "Give me a hug, you motherfucker," and like, this is humanity right here. Mm-hmm. Like, Grant probably in some small way is finally accepting what has happened, seeing the last living member of his family, and he's his half brother. He's not even a full brother.
Right. I forgot about that. Yeah. I wouldn't kill over a Stouffer's lasagna. I might cause grievous harm, but never kill.
Yeah, lose a couple of fingers. A Japanese triad thing. You got to cut your pinky off.
All right, so I take it you know what happened.
So what the fuck?
Like right out of the gate, like what the fuck, dude? Like obviously, because like God knows what the detectives and other police officers and the news and everything else must have primed his pump.
Oh yeah.
Like holy shit.
I'm gonna ask you plain out. You are not part of it anyway.
No.
When's the last time you saw everybody?
I left the house between like midnight and like 12:30.
On Thursday night? So Friday morning?
Thursday going in front.
I don't know how else to describe this, but it feels as stark a contrast as one of those black and white cookies. Like Grant is this AI generated robot goblin monster with showing no emotion. And here's Jason like dealing with something that is an actual tragedy. Mm-hmm. And there's the table sitting in the middle of it and that bottle of water, like it's in the perfect dead center as we see this human AI interaction worthy of like one of those disgusting AI dating apps.
Why? That's when you went to a hotel?
No. The first night I I stayed just in the Publix parking lot by the Tractor Supply.
Publix for murderers.
And why did you leave, though?
It's because Dad had kicked me out Thursday.
And that was it. That was the final
I
straw.
was still talking to the woman.
Not for nothing, though. Like, if you're into true crime, this may remind you of Nathaniel Schimmel. He was like a kid on the spectrum. He was 23. I forget to what degree, or even if you can. He had autism, and his mom was like at the end of her rope and was like, "You've got to get either a job or move out or something." And he's like, "I don't think so." And he stabbed her to fucking death 400 million times or whatever.
Jesus.
It caused everything, and I was.
I want to do that one eventually too.
To do that with her knowledge, but no, not Cody or Dad's. So then Dad found out somehow. And that was one of the
All of his
things
fucking
that
money was
he
gone?
said would lead to my being removed from the premises.
So he forced you, he basically told you you had to leave.
Yeah.
And then what, Grant?
I shot him.
Okay. So who could have done this?
I don't.
So you didn't have any problems or troubles with this woman or the online? You didn't owe them
No.
any money?
No,
I mean, there's no
no.
like loan shark out looking for you or...
She lives in like fucking.
Keep in mind, Jason here is not a detective, but he's asking questions that the fucking actual professional police detectives did not ask for 3 fucking hours. The literal crux of the downfall of the House of Amato did not come up save for one time when Grant's like, it's a little embarrassing.
I just don't see how...
Because seriously, like, here's how fucking stupid Grant is.
You could have lied and be like, oh, maybe.
Like, I've, like, whatever. Throw the Bulgarian thing in there. Like, Bulgaria is one of those Eastern Bloc European countries no one can point to on a map. So if you said, like, well, I was in deep with this Bulgarian outfit, and maybe they sent someone around because I was hopelessly addicted to yanking it to this woman in Bulgaria, maybe it was a mob hit, maybe blah, blah, blah. But here he is, fucking, nope, definitely wasn't her, definitely. Shutting down every other opportunity to point blame away from himself.
Yeah.
But that's our Grant, right? He's fucking, not only is he stupid, he's infuriatingly,
Incompetent.
yeah, but beyond that, there's a certain quality to Grant that does not come across in most of the interrogations I watch, where it's like, I would rather have someone really good at dodging police questions, make up bullshit, than to have someone sit here and meekly, like a wet church mouse, say, I don't have the answers.
Yeah, he's like a piece of stale bread.
I don't have the answers.
Things aren't adding up.
Seriously.
I'm really confused, Grant.
I don't blame you,
I don't
Jason.
understand. How did you get money to pay for a hotel?
I still had a few $100s on my debit card. And
What-
that,
Oh, I had to pay us. I paid for the debit card or the hotel with my debit card, but as that night I lay in the hotel room that I paid for with my money, I was burning it down to Sylvie with the recently stolen credit card of the recently deceased brother I just killed.
Nice.
and Cody.
Get this
gave
guy a
me his
medal.
Debit card.
Okay.
Piece of shit.
And I don't know. I want to believe you, Grant, but you're the last person that I could put in that house.
It's just so heart-wrenching. Like, what Jason is doing is essentially what every good detective should be able to mimic, is like a genuine appeal to emotion. Not to religion, not to any of that. Or if you're going to pull the religion card, like, do it with some gusto so that there's like, and do it where there's a wet hole. You know what I mean? Like, Grant was a dry hole to the detectives every weapon. And even now, like, this is a family member being like, what do we do? Our parents are fucking dead. And he's like, I don't know. I don't have the answer, but I was in a hotel up the street.
I paid for
And
it.
I know what happened over the last 6 months. I can understand
$260,000 in under half a year.
That's
It's hard
crazy.
for me
I
to
thought it
think
was like a
that you
long
would
time.
break to this point. But who else can I blame? How are we going to find out who did this?
I don't know. I don't have the answers.
I don't have the answers.
So what are your intentions? You understand what we have to do now?
He's going to
If you're
jail,
not the person that
Jason.
did it, we have months.
He's
of
not under
stuff that
arrest
we
yet.
have to take care of from
Oh,
our
they just give him different clothes. Okay.
months. You know how much stuff is in that house? We have to go through it all. I have to call people in California to let them know that Margaret Amato is not alive anymore. I gotta call at 3 o'clock in the morning because Cody's 30 years old and has perfectly good organs to donate. And I can't call that shot. He's not an organ donor. I had to say no. So that means there's someone out there that could have used his organs, but we weren't prepared for this.
Like, if that doesn't move you at least a little.
I mean, my
you're
whole body got
a fucking-
goosebumps.
And look, there's Grant sitting with his fucking hands crossed in his lap, hiding his tiny little Johnson, being like, I don't have the answers.
Well, and it's sad too. Well, I mean, it's obviously the whole thing is
But-
sad, but now Jason has to do all of that
Yeah.
stuff himself,
He-
and not even with
Like,
Grant.
that's the thing about this. It destroys in so many directions. But, like, here's the thing. Shit like this, you go, well, what a monster Grant Amato was. Here's the thing. I am one of these people who would like to share the culpability with literally everybody involved. Because if Grant weren't allowed to be a fucking, like, silver spoon-mouthed little spoiled bitch by not only his mother, but his brother, they wouldn't have been killed by him. Like, I understand that it's, you know, whatever reason, he was the baby, you know, you want to spoil him. Obviously Jason had to work. Fucking Cody had to work for his own. His dad, like, worked his ass off. But then they all got together, or two of them got together to create Grant, which was their undoing.
Yeah.
I don't know what problem they thought they were solving by just giving in and always covering for and that kind of shit. Like, worst case scenario, you just have a leech in your family until they die. To most people, like, you just say, well, they'll never learn. No one ever thinks, oh, well, they'll fucking kill me.
Right.
But you don't know. Like, that's the thing. People, nobody in Grant's family would have been like, yeah, we all saw it coming. They would have said he was a fucking weirdo and also lazy, but not a murderer, right?
But he got through nursing school. Like, that's not lazy.
Not really. He got through first nursing school barely and then flunked out of anesthesiology nursing school and was also stealing propofol.
No, I understand that, but like RN school is like an intense thing.
Whatever, it doesn't matter. Like, he is who he is.
I love you more than anything in this world, just like I loved Cody, Grant, and Dad. I know Dad was an asshole. I know Cody was an asshole. But they were our family, and they would have never done anything to hurt us. The shit you did, you could have been in jail. You would have been in jail for years.
What a thank you, right? Like, not only, but that's the thing. We all want to pile on Grant and be like, what a shitbag and all this other shit. Because that is true. But it was the environment in which he was allowed to grow. Mm-hmm. It's horrifying and terrible, and the situation is bad all around. But the situation is that if we all see these red flags, or if we all weren't cultivating our own demise or our own whatever, in this case it was their demise, But we like, because that's the thing. Deep down, you all out there and I and everybody else, we all know what the quote unquote right thing is to do. It's the one that benefits the most people with the least negative, shit to it. And it's just like, well, for this one guy, right? Because Cody didn't get those checks cashed. Like Jason obviously didn't get those checks cashed.
Right.
We'll just see how it goes with this one. And it didn't go well. It reminds me of the Joel Guy Jr. case. Same bullshit. Rich ass, maybe not rich, but well-off family, bankrolling one fat, disgusting, in this case, the exact opposite of Grant, one blob of a child out of the three, and he murders them.
I wonder, also, hey, Matt.
What's up, Matt?
I wonder if, probably with the mom, like, not wanting to have, like, that empty nest thing, so they baby the last kid.
Whatever the decision, or rather the motivation behind the decision, it does not work. When you decide as a parent or anybody else to treat someone in your life other than human, like how you would treat any other human with the same amount of respect or whatever, as soon as you do that, you're doing them a disservice and also cultivating something that could spin out of control. Just really quickly, here's a quick story. At like my last job, this guy came in and applied for a job. I could see he was 10 tons of bullshit in a 5-ton bag. I said, I don't want him on my team. The other team was like, oh, you know what? We don't think that there's any red flags. We'll hire him. So they hired him, and the bullshit started almost immediately. Before the week was up, the dude had told everybody that not only was he ex-military, but he was part of the crew that was in Black Hawk Down.
Oh, yeah. I remember
and
that.
Then went on to, in the parking lot, point to one of the owner's friend's Bentleys, because the owner was rich off his ass, possibly into substances, unconfirmed. But would always show up in a Ferrari or a Lambo or whatever, because that's what, maybe not corrupt, but people who are not giving a fuck about the places they run, they'll show up. It's a classic cliche. They show up in a fucking bright sports car, bark a bunch of orders, do this a whole bunch because they're always having the sniffles for some reason.
Lots of allergies.
And then they drive off. And this motherfucker had the balls to point to this, like, fucking Rolls-Royce Phantom sitting among the burnt-out Honda Accords, Corollas, and Sonatas and be like, that's mine, bitch. And then he had to sit there and wait for everyone to leave so he can get into his fucking burnt-out Hyundai Elantra and drive home like the rest of us sad sacks.
And they covered it up for you. I have a feeling the FBI is already involved because no matter how much Dad can overcome the money laundering, that's money that was moved. Just because they gave it to you as a gift, you can't just claim gifts as income. The FBI wants to know what the fuck is money being moved in that amount.
And all he has to show for it is a picture of his raw red member. He yanked it to the tune of $260,000. And they're gonna if the FBI come knocking, they go, where the fuck? Well, they go, the money's in Bulgaria, and the sum of my efforts is slight swelling around the 2-inch member I've got. It's funny how, real quick, just to lighten the mood a bit, how Jason and Grant have the exact opposite haircut.
I'm
sorry. I don't believe you.
Obviously.
Right.
And I probably will have resentment for the rest of my life, whether you did it or you didn't do it, but I need closure. I need to know what happened to my mother, my father, and my brother Cody. Because I wasn't there to fucking help.
God, survivor's guilt.
And that hurts me.
Jesus.
But if you were there, you'd be dead too.
That's the thing. What these cases really illustrate a very real point is no matter how you prepare yourself, right? Because we're always like on the defensive, like alarm systems or buying guns or going to the gym or learning martial arts. All of that shit goes out the window because like 10 out of 11 murders are by someone you know and they catch you by surprise because they've gained your trust. Here we have fucking Cody, the dad, the mom, all grew up with guns, had a ton of guns, were absolutely able to defend themselves with firepower had they the opportunity.
Yeah.
But he walked up to his mom and she didn't know. Pop, dad, pop, brother, pop. So all the preparation in the world is for naught. And like, that's what nobody wants to look at. Is like, yeah, well, the Second Amendment or however you want to stand on that to prepare for the inevitable or the catastrophic. Cody had no fucking idea when he got a text from his brother that day that it would, end with a bullet in his head.
Yeah.
And how could he? You'll never, that's the thing. You can't see into other people's minds. Here sits Grant after the fact, not moving an inch. God knows what's going on in his mind. And that's why we sit here. We go, what the fuck is going on in your head? At least we have Jason here to lend some sort of humanity to the whole situation.
Black man, I may not have been able to stop you. You probably may have hurt me too.
Yeah, definitely.
But at
Utterly.
least I would have known what happened. And now I'm in fucking who knows what now. I'm lost. And it scares me that you want to leave here and not face what happened. Because you're putting my life at risk then. You're putting Donna's life at risk, Grandma's life. How do we know what you're going to do? What happened on the job?
Oh my
interview
God,
last
Grandma's
Friday?
still around, so now her kid is dead too.
Like being in true crime, eventually not eventually, but constantly almost, you mull over each case you go, well, what if that happened to me? Like if it was a wife or a kid or this or that, oh my fucking God. And that's just one. Like all the cases that revolve around kids, I have a very hard time with now. But beyond that, anybody just blinking out of existence of your life and then the implications of that and yada, yada, yada. But then multiply that by 3 or, holy shit.
Yeah.
All sounded good. Sounded like everything was moving forward. And then I was supposed to hear something on Tuesday or Thursday of this coming week.
He's talking about a job interview.
Nothing.
Whole family's dead.
Just on Friday.
It was last Friday, so it's been a little over a week.
No, it was just this Friday.
That's not possible. Friday was yesterday.
Yeah.
So you're telling me you had a job interview yesterday, but you got kicked out Thursday night?
Right. I had to get my suit and everything and put it into the car.
Okay. Where was your job interview?
It was over on Lee Vista with something scripts.
Dumbass. I can't imagine, I cannot confirm. I'm not gotten deep enough into the case to confirm whether or not he actually did do an interview. But what the fuck?
I mean, if they were looking for him for 24 hours.
The epitome of pointless, right? But if you're stupid, I guess it isn't. Because, Grant still thinks that even though he supplied no cover story or anything, all the evidence points to him. He's just going to skate.
Yeah, he's about to get a new job.
But that's the downfall of all of these people is they try so hard to act normal in the face of catastrophe that you have to be obviously to end another human life. You must be on some outer limit of something.
Mm-hmm.
But why does it so often result in when you're caught, just act like literally nothing is wrong?
Yeah.
But
I mean, he's acting
because when
like
shit happens to you, you freak out. You don't sit there and go, oh, well, that's weird. The whole family's dead, you say? Well, I like anime.
So they'd be able to verify that you were there for an interview.
Here we are, Jason being a better interrogator than
Yeah.
fucking honesty.
I wonder how
detective.
often they have a family member in doing
I'm
questions
gonna
while
feel
it's
really bad.
recording.
This is
Relatively often.
Yeah, and
I mean,
they could do the job for.
It depends on the municipality. You're not supposed to, but oftentimes they'll throw someone in there, like the woman who pushed her husband out of the high-rise apartment. The woman and her boyfriend, who I think drowned her son, and like they ditched the body. They will always have family members in there, and it's always a trip because the ones. I don't even know how to describe it because you don't expect what you see. Because I don't think 90% of these people know they're being monitored.
Which is crazy. Well, he knows.
He totally does. But I'm just saying, like, by and large, if you get into this and they let a family member in, or if they let multiple suspects into a room, they just start singing like canaries, and that's what they bank on. So if they look at the person, they go, okay, this person isn't violent. They look at the relationship, they'll say, go for it. Whether it's a girlfriend or wife, they'll be sketchy, but like, or like the girl who threw away her baby in a dumpster, she kept asking for her mom. And since she was barely 18, they kept being like, oh yeah, let me go check on that. Let me go check on that. The whole time was like a solid fuck no, because number one, you're 18, and number two, you threw a baby in a dumpster.
It's just, I understand. I mean, I really do. I understand all your thoughts and what you're thinking and...
All your thoughts and what you're thinking? You got it all covered there, Grant.
And everything, and this is just...
And everything, just to cover those bases, too. It's just weird. It's just a weird day.
I know what I did to everybody over the months and everything like that.
I know you did.
And I know that you know the hell of dealing with it every single day when you're trying to move forward.
Yep.
Dad, and Cody, and all that stuff.
Yep, and I understand it was probably...
And I know you know that I know that I murdered them.
Real quick, I'm wondering if, because obviously since Jason doesn't live there anymore, I wonder if Cody here is implying that Jason went through something similar, and or even like in Grant's warped mind, he can call it similar. Like maybe, because since he said, yeah, Dad is an asshole, Cody's an asshole, there probably was a falling out that now Grant is going to be like, hey, my blowing of the entirety of the family money is a lot like that time you got caught smoking weed in the garage or whatever.
It was harder for you because you lived in the house. I had the option of getting out, which gave me the ability to...
And God bless him for
on
it.
a daily basis. I understand the mental struggles you went through with Cody and Dad's relationship, you and Dad's relationship, everybody's relationship in the family. You know how smart everybody is in the family when it comes to medical information. And that's what scares me even more about you.
I don't know why he brings up the medical information.
If you didn't do it...
I feel like I mean, obviously this is all just whatever, but I feel like Jason's falling out and stuff with the family, with Cody and his dad, was because he didn't go into something medical and they gave him shit for it or something.
I doubt that. He probably just wanted to live an unorthodox life, and...
Oh, maybe he's like a... like.
Oh, here's exactly what happened. Fucking... I think his name is Chad, the dad. Chad Amato, he's got a hard-on for having a plan, and so he had 3 sons. Fucking Jason was like, I don't like that shit. Cody was like, I love a solid plan. I'll work my ass off. And Grant was right there in the middle. It was like, I'm not going to do jack shit, but live off of, the coattails of literally everybody else. And he was allowed to. So this is a three bears and Goldilocks situation. We got a porridge that's this, that, and the other. And it turns out the one at the end was the murderous one. Whoops.
You have to know that someone else did it. There is no way that there were people out there
seriously
looking for our parents or brother. They had to have been looking for you. There's no way that Mom, Dad, or Cody owed anybody money, had anybody looking for them because of something that they did.
No, I don't think that it's something.
Obviously, Grant, again, he's too stupid to use this. And all it would do would buy him some time as the police had to like chase down every Bulgarian lead and like see if there was a Bulgarian mafia and if they were involved. And like it's almost as if Jason is feeding it to him, and it's like, hello,
Just take it.
just take it. But that's the thing. He's never had to work for literally anything. I'm sure he cheated. Seeing his performance during this, I feel like he must have been cheating his whole way through nursing school.
Probably. Because there's no way. It's such an
he
intense
can't.
thing.
He so fucking disinterested in living is he that he cannot even fabricate a cover story for himself to get out of murdering his family.
Yeah.
It's just like, yeah, I don't know. Any more questions? I have no other answers, but I got to get back to the Hyatt. My granola bar is getting soggy.
Or somebody like that.
Right, because nothing was stolen from the house.
Right.
So, like, people that are looking to compensate for financial obligations would have taken TVs,
Oh, yeah, they
computers,
probably would have.
jewelry, monetarily things.
Right.
From what I've been advised, that is not the situation. So
I've been advised.
that leaves that the people were murdered for the reason that they were in the way of getting to something else.
I don't understand why.
I'm
I
here.
don't understand why it happened. I was taking my steps forward despite everything that I was supposed to do.
That just take real quick. I understand Grant is probably like really trying to pull something out of his ass to appeal to any sort of logical or emotional thing. But the thing you just said there was a logical fallacy. Like, I was taking my steps forward and doing the things I was supposed to do with this, that, and the other. Well, Grant, your parents are fucking dead. Like, God forbid, like, that's the thing. You can't account for weirdness or people on the spectrum or any other sort of thing, so you don't know how people are going to react. But barring every other factor, I mean, you'd be horrified.
Yeah.
It's a couple of, and he's just like, I've been trying to move forward with my life and this thing, and, I don't know. I just don't know what to tell you. Like, if I came home and everybody I knew was dead, like Grant did, and the police show up, talk to you for 2 hours about nothing, and then they go, your parents, everybody's dead. And if you genuinely didn't know that happened, you would flip your fucking lid. But you also wouldn't sit there talking about anime and manga for 2 hours in a windowless room with two stupid detectives.
Yeah.
What was
I don't
supposed to be
know.
doing.
I think I would be in like total shock before I would freak out, like flip.
Right,
my
but that's
shit.
the thing. There are certain responses that are typical of humans, and you're going to have some deviation. But when the deviation is so strong and so against whatever you think the grain is, because human intuition is not a worthless tool. Like when you look at Grant here, and he's Stephen McDanielsing his way through everything, including now his brother.
Yeah.
What can you do? The only reason we're here is because of the archaic concept that interrogations and confessions are the gold standard. We talked about the phones earlier, which were just previously shined over by DNA. And fingerprints are, nice to have too, but there are so many ways in which to collect evidence. The interrogation seems almost pointless. Like if you cannot crack this oyster for the pearl, again, within the first 90 minutes, pull that ripcord, cut your losses. I know golden time is sweet, but do yourself the favor and just be like, yeah, they are buried under evidence. Show the jury the 90 minutes of them going, I don't know what to tell you, in the face of their murdered family in portraiture on the table, and then have a nice Krispy Kreme. Fucking clock out.
The slip up was still communicating with the woman, but
What
The
were you
woman.
allowed to take when Dad kicked you out? Obviously, your car.
basically my possessions, my
Basically
cell
my
phone,
phone.
my iPad, my Surface,
weapons?
I don't have any weapons.
This spoiled little bitch had an iPad and a Surface, which, for those of you unfamiliar, was Microsoft's answer to the iPad.
Yeah.
Dick.
So there's going to be no weapons in the hotel that you were at last night. No weapons in the car.
No.
No weapons buried on the property.
No. I sold all my weapons.
P.S. If you didn't know, you would go, I don't fucking know. It wouldn't be a hard no. Like, if you're guilty, no seems like a brilliant answer. But if you didn't do it, you wouldn't know. You legitimately would not know. Like when Russell Williams, they go, well, your boots walked through her yard toward the murder scene and they were carried there by your tires. What's up with that? I don't know.
Weapons when I was trying to make money.
I remember my mom telling me that. What about,
What do you say, right?
I don't know what else to say, but I'm scared for you and I'm scared for myself, and I don't feel comfortable with you being around me alone. I'm sorry. I could take you physically, but if you have a knife or know where a gun is...
I literally, like the wind that picked up Piglet could take Grant physically.
I'm fucked.
Oh,
And I have
dear,
little
dear.
girls that I have to raise. I have a woman that is depending on me for the rest of my life.
I understand.
Do you?
If you were innocent, you would not go, I understand.
No.
Like, if someone were like, hey, Dave, we've got a triple homicide on our hands and we think you did it. And, you know, by some horror show, everybody believed, because obviously this is before they've got a lot of the evidence because they're grasping at straws. But, like, so before evidence was collected and it was officially ruled, like, not me, if someone were like, I can't stay with you while I think you're a murderer, I would be like, what the fuck, bitch? Like, I'm not a goddamn murderer. I wouldn't be like,
I understand.
understandable.
I'll go
Yeah.
back to the Hyatt.
Triple homicide. The three closest people in my life are dead. You don't want anything with me or anything to do with me. Understandable. I would not understand that. If I were innocent of killing my family and the rest of the extended family were like, we don't want anything to do with you either, I would be fucking upset.
Oh, yeah.
Even if you did, it's gonna be so hard for me to figure out what to do with you.
Seriously.
You do not deserve jail. But I can't come to fucking have attorney press charges for you to be killed. Grant, I need you to be honest with me, man.
Really quick, I think what he's talking about is he doesn't deserve jail for all the narcotics he stole, but he also doesn't want him to, you know, go to death row if, because again, Jason's like 98% there.
Mm-hmm.
If he is a murderer, he doesn't want him killed either. And you know, do some soul searching yourself. If the closest person to you turned out to be a murderer, how would you react, right?
I need to have closure. And if it doesn't come from your mouth and I have to hear it from an attorney or a law enforcement or the news, it's going to be harder for me. And I know if you can take mom and dad and Cody's life, it's hard for you to comprehend that my emotions are going to be that, but
Just look at this emotional plea. He even recognizes it in the moment. You can see it. You can't even see his face. But like when he shakes his head, he realizes that he's throwing a tennis ball of emotion against a brick wall.
Yeah.
And it's going to bounce off every time.
it's unbelievably scary, Grant.
Yeah.
And I don't believe in God. I don't have a strong religious belief, but I will pray that this is solved justifiably.
It's weird when people say
Because
that.
Mm-hmm.
it was not fair that mom, Cody, and dad's life were taken. They did not deserve it no matter what feelings were felt by anybody, they were good people.
I know. And they showed it by protecting me all the time.
But Dad
But
What
I
a
still killed him.
scumbag. Like, of course, with the benefit of hindsight, we go, what the fuck? But, like, he has the benefit of hindsight. He knows he's the murderer. So the fact that he's like, yeah, like, literally, I just destroyed my entire fucking support system. God damn it! Fucking.
kicked you out.
That's
So,
because I still broke the rule, and that it was apparently Dad's job to be.
You had so many fucking chances. And he's like, well, apparently I broke the rule again. Yeah, apparently he wasn't expressly specific enough that I should not talk to the cam model whom I spent the entire family life savings on. And then he got pissed off that I ignored that.
Could you imagine being Jason here, telling Grant, you can't come stay at our house, and then leaving, and then Grant, presumably, I assume, is able to leave
He goes
because,
back to the hotel.
and worrying that whole time that Grant's going to go to his house and kill him?
No, I mean, realistically, Jason knows. He's making a big deal of it, but realistically, you can see why, in the most perverse of ways, you can figure out a motive. Like, it was sour grapes of an adult toddler who didn't want to grow up, so he acted out in the biggest way imaginable. This is the largest temper tantrum an adult toddler ever had in fucking whatever part of the Florida this is.
Yeah.
But that's just what it is. Like, it wasn't done for literally any gain.
Right. It's not like it was like insurance, like life insurance money.
Like, it's finding out that your toothpaste tube is completely empty, right? Like, you finished it up the day before. There's not a single morsel of it in there. And then burning the house down.
A hammer person, or whatever he would describe it as.
right, I was told
I'd
that you were
100%
not
get
to
a
have
restraining order while I
access
was
to
there.
be able-
Yeah.
I get the idea behind restraining orders, but seeing how they never stop anybody from killing anybody. Because here's the thing. If you're willing to break the law to stalk someone and injure them and defame them, you're willing to go around a piece of paper that says don't go near them, especially if you want to kill them.
Yeah.
And the beautiful thing, if you're a murderer about a restraining order, is the address at which the person resides, for which you should steer clear of, is on the paperwork. So if you're inclined to break the law, and if you're a stalker weirdo, you might be, you've essentially been handed the directions. Hello?
to contact
Sorry.
this woman.
I mean, it is something,
Why
but
do you feel the intent to still contact her?
It was just the whole emotional thing.
the whole emotional thing.
That's all
Okay.
that I can say.
What are
you're saying that
emotions,
you
Grant?
love the woman?
I feel like I did, yeah.
Okay, you feel like you did. So
Huh.
you don't feel that way now?
Well, I mean, now it's pretty much, it's not what it used to be, is all.
It's just not what it used to be,
I don't have the money anymore.
I used to be able to get a boner over her, but after I ruined the family and then killed the family, it's just hard to work up a chub. It's just not what it used to be.
Tony says, and I think that's how you can get someone arrested for stalking as opposed to trespassing.
Right, but
yeah,
here's the thing.
if you're dead, you can't do anything.
Right, that's the thing. If they are willing to do violence against you, there's a very... Okay, yeah, you don't know the person's breaking point, let's say. So maybe there are instances where a restraining order wakes them up, gets them into reality, or at least heightens their awareness to like, oh, things are getting serious.
Yeah.
But that's the thing. Law and order are imaginary concepts. Sure, murder, burglary, all that good stuff that we say is against the law is against the law. But it literally stops no one from doing it in the moment. The best we can do is find out after the fact. And it just feels like the restraining order, it feels like a party favor from the legal system. Simply because it's just a piece of paper saying, hey, don't or else. Which is every law. Every law is don't or else. Just getting a fresher piece of paper to be like, don't or else, and we really mean it. Like, we've already crossed that threshold.
Yeah.
I can say.
Because she's aware of what has happened in the last several months.
Right.
The embezzlement.
So why do you feel the need to still contact her?
Seriously. Sylvie knew. She was in the know about all the fucking shit that was going on. Again, if we're going to be spreading blame around like parquet over a piece of toast, she definitely gets at least some of it because like it's a predatory business that she got into, obviously, first off. But to milk that much money out of a person and then after the fact know, at least in some form or fashion, that somebody was ruined by it. But again, you're in Bulgaria, so again, it's like, who gives a fuck? GTFO, Grant, get off my fucking, unless you get that $600 for those 10,000 gold fake tokens so you can see my nips. Pound sand, my friend.
I don't know, apart from just like that feeling when you care for somebody and you've been with them for however many months.
Yo, I know that feeling.
So, I mean,
I'm married with children and they're
I knew
IRL.
Yeah, P.S. We had an entire family we spent a lot of time with that you should have bonded with, but it must have bounced off that glossy head of yours.
To some degree, yeah, and I knew that I could never do any of the money stuff anymore.
Okay.
So I guess that was like,
It hurt, right?
well, yeah.
Yeah, because you can't carry that persona that you carried before.
Okay, this is like, now that we're sort of walking through this together, I'm sort of IRL talking to you guys in real time about it. This does just feel like a petty toddler revenge killing. Like Jason is laying it out here. He's like, okay, so what the fuck? Did you love her? He goes, no, not really, I guess. And the money wasn't going to happen. I was, to see, whatever. I don't want to be like, it's an incel sort of thing, but it does feel like an incel sort of thing because, she was in Bulgaria. There's not a whole lot going on, like physically between them. And what does happens at such an exorbitant price that it destroyed his life.
Right. You shouldn't have to pay for
My online girlfriend, she's like
love.
a cam model. These tokens, and then she flicks her bean for me. And like, what a healthy relationship, right? Like, just imagine, like, in what warped way was Grant able to be like looking at his parents, Chad and Margaret, and being like, seeing their stable, old-timey, old-fashioned relationship where they work and they have kids and yada yada, and then looking at his situation with Sylvie, who's umpteen thousand miles away in an Eastern European ex-Soviet bloc country, and being like, yeah, I'm just like my dad. In some way, I'm sure he thought that.
Yeah, it's not like you can like text her during the day.
Yeah, I'd be like, hey, what are you thinking about? She's like, that'll cost you $15.
You're still the same person.
Can I DoorDash you a Starbucks?
Still Grand Amato that I grew up with for 17 years, that I played with, that we hid shit from Dad so that we didn't get in trouble. Who covered those grenades? Mom.
I think everybody has one of those stories where you help a sibling or family member in a pinch. Real quick, I'll tell you a story. When I was young, my brother bought a giant-ass gun safe, decided to recklessly bring it through the house on a dolly, and he smashed it into the wall and caused a huge, like a significant hole that looked like the corner of a gun safe. And, that was what, like, for whatever reason, it was one of those moments where it's like, God damn it, we're in this together. And we do the Predator like handshake where you go, you son of a bitch. And we spent an hour or two like spackling over the hole, like dabbing at it, making it look exactly right, getting the paint color just right and going over the thing. And it worked fucking perfectly.
Really?
Yes. Never was it brought up. It wasn't even so much as a blip on the radar, and that wall was painted multiple times over.
Wow.
And that's the definition of like a good heist, but also like a no victim crime that you can sort of get along with your parents, or not parents, with your siblings with. And so imagine now seeing that with Grant, being like, yeah, remember that time that we did that innocuous thing that we were like, we did it. Now you're a fucking murderer.
I never got that opportunity.
Only children don't, typically.
I don't feel like we're getting anywhere, and I'm gonna be honest, I don't feel.
Isn't it amazing? So from 3 hours and 24 minutes to 3 hours and 40 minutes, Jason was able to try every legitimate human tactic, realize they're not working, and be like, guess what? I gotta go.
16 minutes, I'm out, bitch.
So comfortable with you staying with me. I mean,
Go back to the fucking
if in a week
DoubleTree.
or a couple days or 12 hours and something else is discovered, then I might have a change of heart, but I have no other options in my head of what's going on, especially if you're confirming that there's nobody looking for you.
And I'm not a fucking idiot, Grant.
And if you're saying that you ran away or stayed in a hotel because you were forced to, or you were told you couldn't stay there,
Sucks.
I don't live there, so I have no proof. The only people that live there are dead, so they can't say anything. But the morgue called me this morning, so I have to make decisions for Mom, Cody, and Dad in the next couple days. So just letting you know that I'll be making those decisions, because until I'm given verifiable information that you did not do it, I don't think you have the right to make that decision. You already made the decision on whether or not they can live or not.
Yep.
Any word of denial there, Grant? Your brother just basically accused you of killing your family. Any words of rebuttal?
That's not your job.
I understand.
All right,
Huh. Turns out no. Like, when a family member dies, like, divorce yourself from like the horrifying circumstances of the murders. When a regular old expected family member dies, it whips up a shitstorm in a family. It whips up old grievances, old grudges. A family can be, whipped into a froth by just a regular old funeral.
Mm-hmm.
Being, if you're alive and over the age of 5, you've probably been through it. I can't imagine, like, now you've got to do that 3 times over, and it wasn't expected. It wasn't an accident. It wasn't natural causes. Like the organ thing, like, what do you do? Is there insurance policies out there? Like, this must have taken up the rest of Jason's life for the next 1 to 5 years.
Oh, yeah. I was going to say, not just a year. I'm sure
Like, if you look
probate stuff. And
yeah, you'll see, if you get into this case, you can see Jason on the stand, giving testimony and everything. Oh my God. Just like the least Grant could have done could have been like, yeah, I did it. Let's forego the trial and just put me in jail. But to the last, what a real Stephen McDaniels, like pulling every fucking last stop before he was finally chucked in there. And it's like, that's the beauty about the legal system, is it can be exploited by the people that are going through the grinding of the gears just as easy as the people who are acting as the gears.
I do love you, though. Just remember that. Just like Mom, Cody, and Dad loved you. Nobody loved you any more or any less.
Think about that too. Put yourself in Jason's situation where, like, you do have a legitimate bond and love for this family member that is probably, maybe, almost definitely the person behind all of this shit. How do you divorce those feelings from the knowledge of who they are, right?
yeah.
it's just like, and you know Grant is itching to get out of this hug because he's a fucking scumbag. He's just like, all right.
I'm gonna pray for you, brother, because I can't pray for Mom, Dad, and Cody anymore.
Because you fucking killed them. Yeah, and he just gives them a head nod. Like they're
Thanks.
leaving a Buffalo Wild Wings. He's like, I'm going to take care of the check. You got, you're heading your way home.
You have anything else you need to talk about before we?
I don't have the
let you
answers.
Because now's your time. You know that.
Now's the exact time. It's the truth. It's the
Once
truth
you're out of
bridge,
here.
the hand.
There's no coming back from this. We're giving you every opportunity to tell us what happened in that home that you have not told us. So you're aware that when you leave here, you're not going to have any chance to redeem yourself and tell us the truth after the fact.
I understand.
And you're okay with that. You can live with yourself knowing that you're not going to tell us the truth.
I've said what I can say.
Okay.
Peace out, bitch. Look at his legs crossed, like he's just chilling.
He's like a driftwood that someone threw clothes on when they went into the ocean.
You ready, man? Question for you real quick.
Did you kill your parents?
You don't want to hurt yourself. You don't want to hurt anybody else. No suicidal thoughts. Okay.
Is there any other family that you possibly stole money from that you would kill? Hey, yeah, he goes, just let it walk out. Free to go at any time. I believe they brought him in handcuffs, though. Like when they,
Well, they were looking for him,
when
probably.
they pulled him in. Holy shit. So there you go. There was the musical chairs of Grant Amato, followed by the gut-wrenching appeal toward humanity by his brother Jason. And it is just gut-wrenching. All of the cases that involve like a family collapsing, it just feels like they're all the same stories. Like, oh, perfect on the outside, but inside it was a rotten core, yada, yada, yada. And yeah, that's always what it is. If something is allowed to simmer on the back burner and it is just ignored, it eventually will burn your house down. Chris Watts, instead of just being like, hey, I'm not interested in this marriage anymore, decided to kill 3 and a, whatever, there was a fetus, so however you want to count that, up to 4 people. Grant here, 3 people, simply because he didn't know. Like, I think that's what is so irritating, is like, obviously there's a way forward. Time doesn't stop. No one ever just stops existing, no matter how bad the situation may get. But you can't see past this 15-minute span. And it's just like, well, now it's time to pull out all the stops. All of the family annihilators do the same bullshit where they go, okay, shit has been great. I've been able to skate. There's one hiccup. But with Grant, there were multiple hiccups. He had the flunking of nursing school, the stealing of the drugs. Like, there were the Sylvie thing, multiple instances in which he could have righted the ship. It wasn't like a Joel Guy Jr. where it was just like, he was allowed to be a piece of shit. There was no sign that he would snap until he just snapped. But with Grant, it was like, there were checks cashed for like, oh my God, here's another thing that needs to be covered up or taken care of or whatever.
And then literally checks cash.
Right. And you'll never know. Cause like with Chris Watts, it was a slow boiling effect, like the frog in the pot, where it was just like, he's unhappy in his marriage. He kept building a castle of children. Like that was each one probably felt like a nail in the coffin of that marriage, and he was never going to get out.
Was he also having an affair?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's the big reason.
Yeah.
Like he wanted to be with what's her face.
Yeah.
And it's always like, throwing away so much to get so little. And in some cases, nothing.
Yeah.
Like Grant could have milked his pathetic enabler family for the rest of his or their natural lives. But he's like, nope, I want to kill him. like Joel Guy Jr. probably could have gotten his mom to bankroll him at least in part for a long ass time.
Yeah.
Nope. Right to the chase. Let's kill them all. It's just like you can, from a logical standpoint, after the fact, you can say, okay, I get the Nancy Brophies. You need the money. You get the murder for passion because, you know, you're wild and something took over. But when you stand to gain literally nothing.
Yeah. I don't understand.
Like, if I can see in most people's heads where the best of us, like when the number of the price tag gets big enough where you go, okay, I'll start considering it. But when it's only a downside and you can only get caught, and even if you don't get caught, the shadow of doubt that will be cast upon you will be that of pitch blackness.
Mm-hmm.
Like, for example, Leticia Stauch. Let's say for some reason she was able to skate, or Casey Anthony, there's another great one, allegedly, and according to the law, didn't kill her daughter. But what's her life like now?
Yeah.
I haven't checked into it because it's so fucking infuriating. But something has to happen, right?
I think she wrote a book.
Right. Like, who cares? You just be an OJ. You just become a quasi-celebrity. You write a book. You can... Because, you know...
Cash checks for something that is...
Yeah, well, you know... Because that's the thing. Once you get past Double Jeopardy, or you're one of these people who can skate through, and you're... Because lightning in a bottle happens. There are gods of probability out there who, despite making every wrong move, come out clean as a whistle.
Right.
And I could see, you know, the allure of that, because you want to put forward the least amount of energy for the maximum amount of gains, the path of least resistance. Humans love that shit. And Grant tried it. But the thing is, I feel like some tap dancing is necessary.
Yeah.
All the people who are like, because now with DNA, because cell phones weren't back around the old days, now that a bunch of these cold cases are getting solved, it does feel more like, you know, yeah, they were in the sites, but they gave plausible enough bullshit. Because a lot of the time, plausible enough is plausible enough.
Yeah.
And, you know, whatever, Grant, there was too much for him to give some plausible bullshit. Like, it wasn't a neighbor that he didn't know very well. Like, there was too much tying him. But there are so many times in which someone gives, like, oh, you know, I don't know, I was in the area, but I was doing something completely different. And they go, okay, cool. And then 30 years or an infinity elapses, and you just skate because you gave plausible deniability.
Yeah, but
I'm not saying it would have worked, but Grant could have been like, it was the Bulgarian mafia.
Yeah.
Something.
Anything. I mean...
anything, but I don't have the answers, right?
Right. Anything but nothing.
Holding back the tears, not being emotionally affected in the slightest, all that. I don't know the answers for you.
I understand when my brother tells me I can't stay with him.
Yeah, it's not good. Like, well, I think you're a murderer, Grant. I understand. But yeah, again, so I'm going to flip-flop again because I do that so often. The interrogation footage, even if you, like, because again, here we are, a rational person in that jury box is going to watch this 3 hours and 40 some odd minutes of detective incompetent, you know, essentially failing at everything. But what we're also seeing is Grant acting like an NPC. Mm-hmm. So no matter what the incompetence of the detective, you're still seeing that Grant is like definitely a soulless monster. It's just a tragedy that it takes 3 hours and two completely incompetent, no, I shouldn't say they're both, but one completely incompetent individual to get there. When Grant's brother blew through it in 15 minutes.
Yeah, and asked way more intensive questions that made...
Not only intensive, but like relevant.
Right.
Like, I get rapport building, But 2
They were not,
hours
like,
is a lot.
Their
Like,
rapport building sucked.
yeah, give me 15 to 30 minutes of rapport building. Give me context for the case. I'm just saying this like as a jury member and as a recreational observer of true crime media. You want 15 to 30 minutes of priming material. Context of the person, context of the victim, context of their life without any hint of crime, and then you start chipping away. 2 hours to follow it up with like, now's the honesty time, Grant. Slip the honesty key into the honesty lock, slip through that honesty gate, and let's honestly be honest with one another because now's the exact time. I've had a great career, 21 years on the force, now's the time, and there's never been a better time.
I've been honest with you this entire
Shut
time.
the fuck up and like read the fucking room.
Yeah.
Can't be helped. It's in the past, but there's always going to be varying levels of incompetence on both sides of the field. And luckily for the criminals, most of it is on the law enforcement side. Because the thing is, like, they're only. So there's crime as a whole, crime that's detected, crime that's investigated, and then crime that's prosecuted. So just to put that in perspective, of all crime, we don't know. Of crime that is reported, 3% gets prosecuted. So that's 3% of a finite number of what might be an infinite sea of crime.
Right.
Criminal justice is a funny oxymoron. It's like a jumbo shrimp. It's one of those things where we go, ah, ha, 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 but we want it. You want a jumbo shrimp. We as a society want to know that we have a criminal justice system, even though that's an absurd notion.
Yep.
But what else are we going to do? We can't as a society be like, well, Grant, you fucker, and like shake our fist at him and be like, well, oh, well, we all turn back around
Don't
and go
do it
back about our
again.
business. Because in reality, the public at large is probably not at risk from a Grant attack.
No.
Like, this was a highly specialized, highly contained, lightning in a bottle style crime that happened in a family that cultivated the experience. It's not like he was a menace to society or he's constantly getting in the public's face. But we can't be like, well, since you're not really going to run around and do anything beyond this, 5 years?
Probation?
No, we got to say, well, murder is murder is murder. Get out of here, you monster.
You got life, right?
Yeah.
Or 3 lives, maybe.
Well, that's the thing. The sentence is more or less irrelevant because even if they're there until they die, I mean, any good biographer can spin a positive or a hopeful or a whatever. You say, well, they went to jail, but then they got this and that. And it just feels, again, it's another lopsided aspect of this because the people who have died are dead. They didn't get any appeals. They didn't get any leniency. They didn't get any consideration. They got fucking murdered.
Mm-hmm.
And after the fact, the murderer can become an educated, erudite, exonerated, this, that, or the other. And so justice really is incumbent upon what does it mean to you? Like, we know rehabilitation is our game, as I've said before, but most of us want that pound of flesh. And some of us aren't even willing to admit it until we are subject to a crime,
Whatever.
like we are
Yeah.
a victim. Yeah, because it does feel like a lot of people who go, well, they're against harsh punishment is because they've never been subject to such a thing. So we have to meet in the middle. So nobody's happy.
Yeah.
The people who aren't involved, who weren't a victim, go, well, it's not right that we're so mean to these people who are mean to these other people who are now dead. Like, imagine if Sean Great or whoever, any of these other people who like legitimately tortured their victims for hours, if not days. And we go, well, but now they get to spend life in prison. Life! They got to get up in a courtroom, wear a suit, horrify a bunch of people, depending on the circumstance. Yeah.
Yeah, they get to wake up and eat food every day.
Yeah, and they have the potential to like be a shining star to someone because they murdered another person. Because there are stories out there like that where, you know, a violent criminal, lives are lost, they become like a shining beacon or a hope or something to somebody. So was it all bad? Like, if we're, you know, going to try and see things as we think we should, if people get better, we have to find a way to be genuinely excited about that.
Yeah.
But I think we're still in that level of lizard brain where we go, it's an eye for an eye, bitch. It's you know, leniency and rehabilitation until it's against us, and then it's like biblical.
I
mean, by and large, I've not had a crime committed against me, so I can't say
Right.
how I would react. But anyway, guys, thank you so much for coming and watching this thing. We did it. That is the last of freaking Grant Amato that I ever want to touch upon. He is such an infuriating little goblin, and he's in prison, so that's fine. You know, but then there's people like Tony Tote, who I will never touch with a 1,000,000-foot crime pole. Just can't do it. Just blech. But that's it. Thanks for coming. I appreciate you as always. Thanks for if you enjoyed it.
We did it.
We did it. It was what a ride. Here's the thing. I like to keep my interrogations light and or disconnected enough from the crime that it's still like we can all walk away with a clean heart and clean hands. But Jason is such a heartbreaker that like, woof. I'll try not to do that again to you guys, but Jesus Christ. Because when it's easy to see people as NPCs when it's criminal and cop, but you throw some real life family in there and it's gut wrenching. Anyway, guys, thank you so much for coming. I appreciate it. We'll catch you next week, in which case we'll probably be doing something lighter. I don't know. But yeah, definitely something lighter. Anyway,
Yes.
catch you guys later.
Bye.
For this. Try to